Alright, so it looks like the audio in this video is not working in number 24. So here's what you're going to end up doing. Alright, I wasn't entirely sure why it wasn't working, but what you're going to do is, if you're looking at this sprite that you created, as you can see, it can't walk through the walls, and you're able to bounce off the walls and not go through it. But let's say you wanted to restart the game and you wanted your sprite to start at the beginning of the maze. So what you want to do is you want to drag your sprite to the very beginning of the maze. And once you do that, you're going to go into the events tab and pull out when the green flag is clicked, just so that way every time the game starts, your sprite goes to that point. So I'm going to drag him all the way back to the beginning right there. And then that shows me exactly what the coordinates are, the XY coordinates. So I'm going to pick up that XY block, and I'm eventually going to drag it over here. But no matter where he's at on the map, he then will go back to the beginning according to these XY coordinates whenever the green flag is clicked. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the Scratch the Cat over here on the other side of the map, but as you see, the XY coordinates would change based on where he's at. So if I drop him right there, the XY coordinates are -161. I go ahead and drop that, and then whenever I were to move anywhere else on the map, as you see, he still can't go through the walls, but if I wanted to ever start over, I click the green flag and he jumps back to the starting position over here. Okay. Even if he gets to the end, right, and you want to reset him, you can write some code in that allows you to jump to that point. So the go-to gives you the XY coordinate of where he's at. All right. And then what you want to do is you want to go to the control block and you want to put in a forever loop. Now, throughout this, you want to always be checking forever throughout the game if you've won and if you've gotten to the very end over here. So if you look for a sprite, you can find a sprite for something that your original maze sprite can catch at the end, whether it's a donut or some sort of prize like that. And you can drag and drop it in there and make it a little bit smaller so that way it fits. You can drag it over there in the corner. So that way when it gets to the very end of the maze, there's a prize for it. And like I said, that was just a donut there, but you can put whatever you want. So we want to be checking nonstop to see if our sprite is touching at the very end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to drag this forever loop to always be checking. I've dragged that in there. I'm going to wait for the video to catch up. But what I'm going to do is I'm eventually going to drag and drop and click this in. And then also I'm going to add a sensing block. So drag the forever loop, drop it in there. And then if I pull out if touching, we want if touching, we're going to drag this block over. And we don't want to know if it's touching the mouse pointer, but if the cat sprite is touching the donut, okay, or whatever sprite that you pulled out. So if that's true, then maybe say for 2 seconds, say you win, or however many seconds you want, right? We said 3 seconds there, but it says you win. And you can type whatever you want. That's just what I decided to type. And if you were to go all the way through the maze at the very end, if you were touching the donut, then you would end up winning. A message would pop up and say you win. All right. So in a second here, I'm going to start clicking the arrow keys and moving the sprite through. All right. So you get all the way to the end. Let's say we cheated and went all the way to the end right here, and you're just about to win, and you get finally to the very end. So you see, I still don't walk through the walls there, but if I get all the way to the very end of the maze, as I'm waiting, I get to the very end, and if touching the donut, then it says you win. That message pops up.